Have you ever wondered how the many layers of government authority work together, and more importantly, how they stay in their own lanes? It is a complex dance of power and responsibility, ensuring that rules and regulations serve their intended purpose without overstepping boundaries. State regulatory agency jurisdiction limits are primarily defined by a combination of state constitutional provisions, legislative statutes, and the fundamental principles of federalism embedded in the United States Constitution. These foundational elements establish both the scope of an agency's authority and its geographical reach. The primary source of an agency's power comes directly from the state legislature, which creates the agency through specific statutes. These laws detail the agency's mission, outline the types of activities it can regulate, and often specify the procedures it must follow. Think of it as a detailed job description that sets the outer bounds of its work. Furthermore, the state constitution itself provides the overarching framework, ensuring that any powers granted to an agency do not violate fundamental rights or exceed the state's own constitutional authority. Another critical factor is the 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which reserves powers not delegated to the federal government to the states, forming the bedrock of state sovereignty in many regulatory areas. However, state agencies must also respect federal preemption, where a federal law explicitly or implicitly overrides state law in a particular field, setting a ceiling on state authority. Finally, the state and federal court systems play a crucial role through judicial review, interpreting these statutes and constitutional principles, thereby affirming or limiting agency actions and ensuring they operate within their legal mandate. To understand a specific state agency's limits, one would typically examine the state's administrative code and the enabling legislation that established that agency. These documents provide the explicit details of its authorized actions and regulated domains. Recognizing when federal preemption applies is also vital, as federal law always takes precedence over conflicting state law. Consulting resources such as government publications or legal counsel specializing in administrative law can help clarify these intricate jurisdictional nuances. An interesting concept that helps define these limits is the ultra vires doctrine. This Latin term means beyond the powers and refers to any act performed by an agency that exceeds the authority granted to it by law. When an agency acts ultra vires, its actions can be challenged and overturned by courts, reinforcing the importance of adhering to defined jurisdictional boundaries. This principle serves as a critical check against potential governmental overreach. Understanding the precise limits of state regulatory agency jurisdiction is essential for protecting individual liberties, ensuring fair business practices, and maintaining the delicate balance of power between different levels of government. These boundaries provide clarity, accountability, and a predictable framework within which all entities must operate, preventing arbitrary action and fostering a stable regulatory environment.